Okay, you're using, okay, cool. So I'm gonna be modeling this bottle. I'm gonna do new, open a new part. So I'm gonna start here, sketch, Control S. I'm gonna look for my pictures, downloads, rendering, flashlight, this one, open. Then the first thing that I'm gonna do here is take this tool, take it as close as possible. 6.29. And then place this image here. That's the first one. Then I'm gonna do the right one. Control 8. So do the same. So this is just taking care that the scale is correct. And I'm gonna click exit here because I'm not sure if it's in the right position. I think it could be anywhere, but I just like to put the scaling tool in the right location. And then there. And then I'm gonna place it here because this is the right one. And then do the top one. So yeah, I have that there. Sketch. Do the same thing here, Control 8. And yeah, like some of you have a glitch with this tool, so you can like make the picture smaller. And then you have like one shot to do this, right? You gotta like move the tool and zoom in at the same time. So it's kind of like a hand trick. There, 6.29 inches. And then, so here the thing is, I'm normal to this. I don't see your pictures. I could rotate this a little bit and then start moving this, right? I need to match these edges here. And I could zoom in more. Okay, that's good. That's as good as it's gonna get. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so I build that. Now I'm gonna do top plane. I could start creating all my reference planes right now. So I'm gonna do, I could get that shape with 4 planes. And then this should be, I want this last plane to finish here. So I'm gonna probably add like 100 of an inch extra. 0.95 inches. I know that because I did this already, right? I'm not like a magician. So cool, so I have the planes. I'm gonna hide them just for now. Go to top plane, Control 8. And then in this case, I'm gonna start sketching. I'm gonna use the midpoint line just so I can put this here. Put this here. I'll do Control A to select all of them and the construction lines. Then take the ellipse, put it here. Since I put it at the center, then it should be very close, right? So this half of the ellipse gives me this shape, and then because I have that center line, now I could just do trim because it didn't really match there. So the way that I'm gonna match that line is using my stylus spline, and I will just try to replicate that shape. Merge it here. Merge it here. Then I'm gonna take this one and say tangent, and that's gonna happen, right? I don't want that to happen. The reason that is happening is that this ellipse is not dimension, so I'm gonna dimension this ellipse. So now if I do here, tangent, there you go. Then because that is tangent, it has to also fix this line, which I always make horizontal. But yeah, that's okay. Then I could take this, start moving it in the right direction that I need. This I could pull this way. I could make this one vertical, right? And just place it here. Now that I have that, I mirror entities, take this one, mirror about this. And that's my original profile, right? So I could leave it like this and don't use it, or just Control A, construction. And I could do the offset right away, but I'm gonna leave this as sketch as my original, so I don't modify it. So I'm gonna exit this as sketch, go to top plane again, new one, and automatically just offset. And if it doesn't select all this stuff, go, yeah, reversed. I'm just trying to match it there. Maybe a little bit more. That probably will be it. That's good. Then now I'm gonna start with this plane, sketch. And at this point, like since I already did this one, I could say offset and keep working with the original one. It is very annoying that I need to do this all the time. I need to click on all the lines. I don't know why. I'm gonna take a quick look at this sketch. Make it solid. You see, there's something. Let's see. I don't see it shaded. It's not shaded, so it might not be completely close. So I'm gonna hide this terrace sketch. Oh no, it is. It is. Okay. I was tripping.
So you're making.
I'll do it at the end. Hold on. So I can make this fast. Then okay, that's good. Then I'm gonna offset entities. I'm working in the second plane, right? I'm gonna click on the original one. And then just adjust it. That's good. If this really bothers me right here, I could do Control 8 really quick, and then take this half of the arc and delete it, and create a new ellipse at the center, attach it, and then kind of like drop it what I need to be, right? Then I will do trim, and I don't need a center line here because these two are touching there, so that will trim that in that area. The only thing that I need to do here is, let's see, I could have that and dimension this so that this ellipse doesn't move anymore. But then since I did this, I need to make this tangent. Ooh, doesn't like that. Delete. Let me see, maybe I need to delete this dimension. Control 8. So I'm just gonna see, no, yeah, no, it doesn't look fine. Maybe I take this one. Maybe I could sketch a center line really quick and then make this tangent to that center line. Yeah, I don't like that. Oh man, I'm wasting time. See. Oh, there you go. Okay. I needed to delete the one coincident constraint there. And now I'm able to move this as I would like. I could leave it just right here. So I was having some issues making this tangent here. And I don't need to do it here. Do I need to make it here as well? Let's see. This tangent. Yeah, that's cool. So I couldn't make this tangent constraint before because this was coincident here. So I just delete that coincident constraint here. So yeah, so that one is done. Then I will move to the second one. There, I could hide this plane. So I'm sketching on my plane 2 sketch. Then in this case, I could take the same. Do offset of the original one. In this case, I'll do reverse. Yeah, that's cool. That's almost there. So in this case, I might just need to get rid of these ones. And this gets messy just because of all these images. So I could double click in this one, full image, make it a transparency so it disappears a little bit. And then I will do the same sketch. I will make a new spline. I'm sketching in this plane. You need to use the stylus spline. Take this, merge it. In this case, I could take this, make a tangent. Just take this whole line there. I could also use a center line and put this center line exactly at the location that I need that. Merge. Control 8 so normal too. So now I just need to adjust this, right? This one would probably need to be vertical. And I might need another point. So you can always add control points to the stylus spline by doing right click, insert vertex point, and I'm just gonna add one there. So now I have this extra one, right? Which gives me more control. Just be careful not to snap these controls to any other sketch. Now I'm gonna switch to this view and see how this is going. Ooh, yeah, that might be too small. Yeah, I think this one, I'm gonna delete this one. Let's see what would be the best thing to do here. Yeah, so I had to delete that one because it wasn't matching this right view. So I could take that one, see if it takes me close enough. That looks good. Oh no, it's actually better if I actually take the offset entities of this previous one. No, that's good. And then lastly, I have this plane right here, plane 3. I'm gonna sketch. And this one, the only thing that I need to do is a circle. That's the easiest one, right? Just put it there. So I got that. So now I just need to, I could run the Loft feature right now. And it's very close, right? But I am not getting this curvature right. Am I getting this right? Yes. Okay. So I still need to add a guide curve. So I'm gonna go to my front plane. I'm working this one. So I'm just gonna take this spline tool. I think this the style is spline. And in this case, I will pierce this one here. Pierce this one to the bottom. Notice that I have like some solid lines, but I'm not, those are not part of the sketches that made up my profiles. Those are like different sketches. Control 8 on normal 2. So I'm gonna try to get the shape as close as possible and then add the points to this spline so I can add the pierce constraint. Yeah, that's close enough. Then I'm gonna take point, zoom in, put a little point here. Be careful not to put the point on the ellipse, right? Because that could happen too. I could, ooh, that's okay for now. Let's say point here, take that, put it there. And then this one now, I just adjust it, maybe lower this one. Ooh. Yeah, so I don't like that. I really need to adjust this one. So I'm gonna take this one, yes, delete, ellipse. In this case, I'm not gonna do any constraints or like try to attach it right away. So this is what I'm doing. Coincident. And the reason that I didn't start at the center is because I want to put any constraints there because it might prevent me from getting this right. I will trim this ellipse. I will make this one, this line and this line tangent, this line and this line tangent. And now I can move this one there, and I will definitely have an error message after I click exit because I created a constraint here and now that line is gone, right? So I just need to recreate it. So edit sketch, this point, you see, it's, oh, you were coincident and previous. It's like delete, delete, take this point and now attach it there. Perfect. So I could run the Loft feature right now and see what's gonna happen. But then I get that little thing right there. Maybe this is something that I could use this edge with, right? So I have to skip the step of creating another guide curve, right? So it might be easier for you. So I did next to edge. So it's basically pulling this edge into like my guide curve. And that looks fine. Let's see. Next to guide, next to sharp, next to edge. And say click OK. And I will just, yeah, that looks fine. Cool, so I built that. So now the next thing right here will be to build I could do change to transparency so I can see through the model because I want to get this right. But the problem there is like I thought that I could use a chamfer there. But what happened is that this is the result of a loft set feature. The body is very irregular, so I'm going to have this as my chamfer. Do I want that as my chamfer? No. So this is something that I haven't showed you, and is that you can use planes to cut as well. So in this case, I will take this face, do reference geometry plane. I'm going to flip offset so it's underneath. And I could eyeball it. I could see that right there. So I'm going to make it as close as possible to that line. Like there. And leave that plane there. That plane is infinite, right? So it's intersecting that completely. Before I do the cut, I'm going to click in this face, click a sketch, Control 8, and I'm going to sketch a circle. I know I could use this edge, but I want to rely on the circle because it's a perfect circle. The edge of and the edge of this shape is the result of like a couple of lofts or like a lot of profiles merging into this shape. So I don't know if it's a complete diameter. So a circle is a full diameter. So I'm fine. So in the feature that I'm going to show you is called a split. So I'm going to go here, insert features, split, which basically is split bodies, right? In this case, there's a couple of ways that you can run the split. So the first thing that is going to show you is a trim tool, right? So your trim tool could be in a sketch, your trim tool could be a plane, right? So in this case, I'm going to use this as my trimming tool, right? And then I'm going to say cut part, and automatically show me, hey, you're cutting this, right? This is awesome. I could also make parting lines with this. It's very powerful. I will demonstrate that in next class. But in this case, I just want to click here, consume cut bodies, because I want to get rid of that. Click OK, and now it's gone, right? Now what I can do is I could do and I could make this circle slightly smaller, right? Just like, so that it matches, ooh, Control C, I don't know what happened, the picture disappeared. So that it matches this. There, maybe even smaller, that will be okay. And then now I'm gonna do loft feature, this face, this, control. So I'm normal too, and this is the trick that I was talking about, right? Like just pulling this connector point all the way to the edge. And since I am looking at these from my front view, that's it. Like if they're completely aligned. If they're not aligned properly, and I go to the top view, I'll make this one there, right? And then click OK. So now I have the loft feature there. Yeah. So yeah, so I got that. Okay, cool. So now I need to create the cut for the little handle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this change transparency so I can see through. Control 8. So I will probably make a plane somewhere here. I'm gonna see if like one of these planes is there. No. So I'm gonna create reference geometry plane. So right now I'm gonna sketch an arc that is gonna serve me as my guide for my planes I'm gonna build to do a lofted cut for the handle. And in this case, I'm gonna do a plane based on the top plane. So I can put it like slightly at the center of that handle. That's fine. Control 8 to this plane. And then I'm just gonna sketch a random arc. When you do is the only thing that you need to be careful with is that these points and this line will give me a plane here, right? Be careful not to make these points very close here, because then you're the sketches that are going to make that lofted cut my intern fit here. You want them to be as separate as possible. I also like to make these 2 points horizontal or vertical. So now I could do this, right? And then I might need to have a center line here and take this and do, I'm looking for this point, which is the midpoint of the arc, and then coincident. So now it's just there. Yeah, and that should be okay with that, I think. So yeah, that's gonna be how I'm gonna create those planes there. I will do plane, point, plane, point. I will go to my right plane so I can sketch that shape. I saw like some people in my other class, they sketched this shape just by using this tool, but it's so ugly and it's not accurate. So the best way to do is take the perimeter circle, that one is done. Then here, because I know those are circles, right? And then I could put a tangent arc. I could, for example, just fix this so it doesn't move anymore. Fix, take this. Coincident, and then take this line, take this arc, tangent, right? Getting to the height of zooming in a lot too, because that's gonna help you. Take this line, take this arc, take that line and that diameter, tangent again, right? And then I could move that a little bit, that's fine. Again, same. Coincident, coincident, and then line, diameter, tangent. Line, diameter, tangent. And then trim tool. So that was quicker. Like it took me longer before. And I didn't put any dimensions. So then now what I do is I'm gonna click in this plane, offset entities, and click on this edge, right? And then I could say, hey, if I look at this image, I'm gonna try to match that. Yeah, that's good. Doesn't need to be super perfect, that's fine. The only problem is that I would like this to be closer. Like I need to move this sketch a little bit. So what I could do is, can I move that? No. I could do delete display relations, delete all. And I don't wanna move this directly from one of the lines because it's gonna start twisting. So what I'm gonna do is Control A, right click, sketch tools, move entities. So I just click somewhere and drag it. That is the best way to do it. Once it's in the location that I want to, I will do display delete relations, Control A, and I could say just fix it. And then I will do the same for the other one. But I'm gonna see if I could do sketch, and then let's see if I could do convert entities of this one. Yeah, no, I was gonna take it in the other way. Then in this case, let's see what I can do to place that sketch exactly in the right direction. What I need to do, I'd like some kind of reference here. So let's say that Okay. So that what just happened right now is telling me like this is a redundancy, so this dimension is not driving anything. But I just want to use these two numbers just so I can place the other one. Then I will do sketch here. Offset entities, and then the settings of the previous offset are there still. So I just click here, get that line there. Control 8. Control A, now Control A so I can select all of this. Yeah, delete all. And then Control A, sketch tools, move, and I move this along this, somewhere here. Now I'm gonna sketch the same lines that I had. And I think this one was, it could be off a little bit, that's okay. Was 0.96. And this one was 0.33. And I'm doing all of this so I can do Control A. So I select all the sketches, and then I will press Control so I could unselect these lines because I don't need to move them. And then take this and place it here. So I know it's close, like it might be off by like 1,000 of an inch. So now I have those three profiles: lofted boss base, lofted cut. You see the interface is the same. First profile, second, third. That looks fine. I don't need to add anything. I don't really care much. Done. And it's showing me that. The reason that it's showing like that is because I had like change transparency. So change transparency. Oh, what's going on? I'm gonna do Control Q to rebuild this. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, like I don't know. Let's see what's up. Oh, yeah, I made a mistake. Okay. Yeah, what happened here is that I did right click on this body before and I changed it to a transparency, and it will not be driven by this here, but I need to click on the same body, right click, and then change transparency. So it's back. And then now I'm just gonna redo my loft feature, lofted cut, and then take this first one, second one, there. In this case, I need to move my vector points, right? That's why I have those little points there, so I can adjust them there. Click OK, so I get the cut, right? Yes, they're not, they might, like I got those lines there because they might not be completely tangent. I could go to evaluate and check that out. Yeah, that's okay. Because in my other bottle, did I get that? Yeah, no, I didn't. It was very smooth. And maybe you find a way to build that sketch a little bit better. Then I will do fillets. And in this case, because I didn't attach those lines properly, when I run my fillet, I'm gonna have to select 1, 2, 3, 4 edges. And I will do the same here. Hold down Shift or Control. And then I could increase that fillet a little bit more. Maybe 0.35 is the limit. Click OK. and I get the handle there, right? So now that I have that, then the next thing will be to create the cap, and the cap is very simple. So I'm gonna click on this face, sketch, Control 8. In this case, I will do a circle. I'll keep it like that. Extrude this upwards. Click OK, but I also need to see this. Then I will add a fillet here. Oh, that's okay, kind of match. Then that has a chamfer at the bottom. And if you don't get the preview of the chamfer, just put 1 millimeter, or like just input like a very small value, and then we can adjust this. So it might be 2 millimeters. And play with the angles. Click OK. I realized that I merged those two bodies. I don't want to, so I'm gonna go back to the extrusion that created the cap, edit feature, uncheck merge. Then the last thing is these little cuts on the cap, right? So for these cuts, what we can do, use the sweep feature, the sweep cut feature. And then what I will do here is that if you look at these cuts, they're rounded here and they're rounded at the top. So that means that the path that is guiding those cuts is slightly leaving the top of the cap and is slightly off the edge, right? So what I'm gonna do here is do right plane. Let's do front plane, sketch. I'm gonna hide all this because I don't need it right now. Control 8. And then you can simply do this in this way. You can take a little arc, place it there. Let's make it as close as possible. Maybe you can make a constraint between this arc and this edge and say be cordial. Be cordial to each other. Be concentric, actually. No. Ooh, yes. No, that's not the one I want. Let's see. Let's break this concentric, delete. Let's do tangent. I was gonna touch it there. Yeah. So this will be probably too short. So I'm gonna add a line and another line because I want the cut to leave the body, right? So I'm gonna take this point, merge it here, merge, take this line, take this edge, this arc, tangent, same, merge, tangent, and now I could like maybe put this a little bit closer there. Right? Then I'm gonna do features, and then I'm gonna exit this sweep cut. And we've been using sweep that I need to sketch a profile, all of that stuff. But you also, I think I showed you this circular profile, right? I talked about this at the beginning of the class. I'm gonna click here, and then automatically it gives me a circular profile, right? And I could look at the cut, and yeah, like it is actually leaving. It's not touching there. It's touching the rest. That's good. Say okay, and I get that. Then I could add a fillet to that edge. That's way too big, so I'm gonna click 1 millimeter. Ooh. And then, yeah, I don't like how it looks. So what I could do here is go here, increase the diameter of this, which is gonna make that like that. But then I could play with this sketch again, make it come out more. Yeah, it looks a bit better. Fillet. So full preview. Okay. I need to click. Oh, you see? So like that's a little, this needs to come out a little bit more. Yep, that was good. And then fillet this. Okay. And then yeah, like that's for example that how do you create that code? Then I will do reference geometry, create an axis because I want to pattern that code, right? So I selected the cylindrical face because I could do that because that's a cylinder, and now I have an axis, and then do circular pattern. Click on the axis that I just created. Features, in this case, I'm replicating this feature code into this cap, so I could do features and faces. And then this. And there is slightly touching, so I could do less. And then add some fillets here at the bottom. Other things that I haven't shown you, like there's this feature called dome. So you know like how plastic bottles at the bottom have like a concavity, right? So I could say dome and click here. It's gonna take a while. And flip it. So now it's done that way. Okay. Does it look like a plastic bottle? It's still missing one thing. Injection molded plastic bottles or blow molded, they have a line here, they have a little vein. So in this case, it's a good way to do an example of intersection curves. So I'm sketching the front plane. I'm gonna do intersection curve. So it's gonna create an intersection or a curve of whatever that plane is intersecting. So I could do this. And then once I click OK, it's gonna give me that little edge, right? So I created that line. And then features, sweep boss base, circular profile. And then just click on that line that I just created. Also, I need to like click on all these little segments. And click OK. And then I could say, hey, it'll be like super tiny, like 0.5 millimeters. Was too small. 0.5. And then click OK. And now it's a plastic bottle. That's it. So just